What's up, y'all? I have good news for you today. We have Brendan Moe in the house, and this man went from mortgage loan officer to tech sales in just 31 days, 90K, fully remote role with a sick company. Brendan, welcome. So tell us about like before Sword, because no one outside of
Yeah,
me really knows you and your story. What were you doing? Like mortgage loan officer? I understand you
yeah.
can be pretty successful in that field, but why did you feel like it wasn't the
Great
right path
question.
for you?
So I've been doing mortgage sales for the last 7 years, right out of graduating from university. I had a great mentor, great years during the COVID boom. We had a everyone made it rain for a while. And then, after it all ended in 2022, things got a little harder. And then 23 got even harder. Everything's just going up in price. People just can't afford to buy. In my territory in California, there's nowhere to build. So less inventories, less sales opportunities. And I saw the writing on the wall when I built a business based off referrals and my referral partners started to all leave. And so last year I decided I'm going to start, probably half of them were in the tech sales industry, which is what I wanted to get into because of the remote sales aspect of things. But I had zero interviews for staff at SaaS companies, like zero. It was horrible. And I was like, what am I doing
Yeah.
wrong? Like I made President's Club twice. Like, this is like entry level tech sales. I thought it'd be pretty easy to get into, but I had zero luck doing it, just applying, playing the numbers game. It didn't work. So then fast
Mm.
forward to, I tried I later this year in like November, I started getting back into it saying, I'm gonna get into tech sales, but I have to do a different approach. My wife, she's my everything. She always gives me the best advice and she's like, hire someone. You can't do this by yourself. Look what happened early in the year. It
Mm.
did not work. And so anyways, I started watching your videos online. I saw one about this girl that landed a job, with zero sales experience. And it was like around, I think 90 or 100 grand OTE. And I'm like, how the heck did I think she was an engineer before, but how did like an engineer get into sales? Like with no experience, this should be a piece of cake if I use this guy's formula or whatever. And so I started watching all your videos, connected really well with you on, your belief in God and Jesus. And you just seem very encouraging. And, I'm a big believer in, good things happen to good people. And I prayed a lot, fasted a lot with my wife, and you just kept popping up on my
Mm.
feed. I know it's part algorithm, but I also see it as like destiny. Big guy over
Instagram.
there is just sending it all down to me. And so all of a sudden I just started watching all your stuff and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to give this guy a shot. I need to kind of just took it from there. So
Wow. Wow, man. Well, it is totally God that that happened and just the timing of everything, and I'm so glad it worked out like that. I'm curious to hear because you were kind of an outsider. It's not like
yeah.
you were in tech sales before. So what did you think was gonna be the hardest transition from, your previous experience, mortgage loan officer into tech sales? And then how do you think we actually navigated that together in the
The
program?
hardest part of getting into tech sales, you're saying?
What did you think it was gonna be
Oh,
the hardest
okay.
part? Yeah.
Well, honestly, just how do I get a freaking interview? Like just getting an interview, I couldn't even get one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what difference is it going to make? And then you taught me, how to optimize my resume, but mostly you taught me the value of doing the job up front to get the job. I mean, that's probably anyone that's looking to get into tech sales that has no experience. Jack will teach you exactly. It's really nice because it's kind of like easing you into the job already. You're teaching you all the skill sets. I need to do different, multi-channeling
Yep.
outreach on different platforms to be able to get a hold of, you know, hiring managers in order to land interviews. And it's the same thing in, the SDR BDR role is, you're just trying to multi-channel to get meetings with people. And so I think that was my biggest fear was just the unknown. Like I didn't know what I didn't know until you taught it to me.
That is the absolute biggest fear because I've helped servers, teachers, coaches, all kinds of backgrounds, construction workers, oil fields. Like people have never done sales before, but you're right. If you do the job to get the job, you're the only way to deal with that
Right.
uncertainty is to take action, right? Like the only way we're certain about things is if we do them and
Okay.
we're like, oh, I didn't die after trying that. Okay,
Right.
cool, I can do this. And so, for you to jump in the way you did head first, it was incredible the start you got. And it's why you did it in
Well, thank
31
you. All
days.
thanks
So,
to you. Otherwise, it'd be a long, probably 9 months plus.
yeah. 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 So why did you pick sword? Because it sounds like your wife is very supportive. She's like, "Hey, go find a coach." There's like $500 boot camps out there. There's other coaches. I don't really know
Yep.
much about them. I don't even know if they were ever like managers and stuff. I don't think so. Why sword? Right? Why did you
Good
decide to
question.
work with them?
So, as you know, I was pretty skeptical at first because I've spent tens of thousands on coaching in the mortgage industry, and I would say 80% of them were just garbage, trash, just pre-recorded courses that I could watch and learn skills, but nothing was custom tailored. So, when I started watching your videos and how you kind of work with people,
Mm.
and when I spoke to, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy that initially contacted me, he told me it was a one-on-one approach. And I know that getting into any career, having good mentorship is probably the most important thing. And so I wasn't looking for just another online course I can take for the next 3 months. I needed more of a custom tailor approach, which I thought you did a great job at. You're really good at communicating. I mean, every single day you checked in with us. And whenever I had questions, all the crazy projects I had to do throughout the hiring process, you spent time with me and you helped me do them, even if I didn't turn this whole thing. So I really appreciated just the one-on-one, just, and you provide the whole format about how to do everything. Very structured. And so
Mm.
there wasn't a lot of questions. It was more just follow the plan and everything works out. You don't, you're not stuck in your head all day long.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I think we met through Instagram initially. So there's a lot of people I do connect with where I'm a stranger. I'm one more guy on their feed of like, "Oh, I have this course, blah blah blah, I make a lot of money," which I understand the
Yeah.
skepticism because there's some crazy people out there. But when we meet, like you and I had a conversation, you didn't really know much about tech sales. You were like, "Yeah, I think it'd be good enough." Like you tried some applications and stuff, but you ultimately decided to take action, right? And that's why you're here. What would you tell that person who's stuck on the fence? Like they meet me, we talk, they think tech sales is what they want to do, but they're just like, it's the investment, it's the fear, it's the uncertainty. What would you tell that person on the fence?
In my experience, just from my own experience, 9 months, like last year in 2024, in like March, I started looking. I spent like 6 to 7 months just trying to get a job in it. Couldn't get it. I ended up, but it was crap. And it wasn't a really good type of tech sales job. And so the quality, I would tell somebody, look, you have to take action eventually. Why try to invent something on your own and end up with a job you're unhappy with more than likely? Then learn from a guy that has done this process with, tons and tons of people already. And he used to do this job and manage people and hire people. So like he's written it recently too. So learning from somebody that has experience fresh in their mind. I mean, it's just gonna 31 days versus like 6 to 7 months previously. That's the difference. What's worth it more to you, time or the money? Money is time.
Yeah. And just to be very clear, you have to work freaking hard like Brendan if you want to be like Brendan on one of these videos one day. Like I don't work with everyone. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of commitment. But if you want to be like Brendan on a video like this, you got to put in
Oh
the
yeah,
work
it
and
is
it's
a
so
lot of
worth it.
work. I have to admit, it's like a full time job. At some days it felt like it when I think at one point I had 8 interviews like that week, and all like level one, level two, level three, like
Yeah.
projects. Like it was exhausting, and that's for the one on one coaching with you. Just it made it all worth it. I could have never done it just on my own. I would have been
Mm.
winging most of the things otherwise. Not enough time of the day.
What was your favorite part about my coaching style? Like if you had to ascribe a style to me of coaching, what would you say
Um,
it is?
we had one of my swim coaches a lot back in high school. He's really like,
That's not good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no, I love him. He was great in the sense that he kept me accountable for things, but he was also like a cheerleader in my back corner. Like you Jack, you celebrate wins every like interview I landed, every time I got put on the process, every time I shared something with you. You're always super supportive, but you also were able to keep me accountable and say, well, hey, you need to do better on this. You gave me real advice. You're not just like one of those frou haha like happy go lucky coaches that's going to tell you everything's going to be okay. I've paid the thousands for those kind of coaching
Mm.
in the past and mortgage, and yeah, they make you feel good, but you don't really improve in any which way. And I knew I didn't want that again. And so when I listen to the way you speak, are supportive, but you're you get very actionable like things to do to improve yourself. And, one-on-one coaching is
Yeah.
what I really needed. So,
It's the biblical way, right? Like we're told to
yeah.
speak truth in love. So I appreciate that. That builds
No,
me
thank
up,
you.
man. So thank you.
Yeah.
And kind of more of a
Yeah.
personal question for you. So like outside of
Yeah.
landing the job, that's sick, right? Remote role, like you did it, 90K, awesome company, all of that. Outside of that, what are you personally most proud of accomplishing?
Most proud of accomplishing, honestly, just being able to, okay, I am not like the youngest guy around. And I hate admitting this out loud because I always feel like I'm the youngest guy. In mortgage sales, I was like one of the youngest guys in my company by like 20 years. So I'm used to being the youngster. And going into tech sales, I knew it's something I wanted to do. I've always been I was known as like the mortgage techie lender. I didn't know how techie was going to getting into tech sales. And so learning the skill on a true level where I knew I wasn't going to be the youngest, the smartest, I'm going to be probably on the older end, and just being able to figure it out so quickly because your systems were just written out for me. Like I'm pretty ADHD as you can tell, but like having things written out, having tasks I can like cross off, it just, it helped me to develop the skills to do the multi-channeling outreach that you trained me to do. So I'm going to be able to use these skills in my job at, wherever I'm going. So, um, anyways, just learning the new skill and
Yeah.
proving before even getting the job, I can do the job. That's what I'm probably most proud of.
Because now you're going into this confident, and there's zero doubt that you're going to go crush it because you crushed this process, and it's just copy paste
100%. And
into a
that's what I
different
had
system.
so much, the job I got hired at earlier in the year, I didn't know what I was getting myself in. Like, I had no clue what it was going to be like or what the job was going to be like. With you and getting this specific type of job in SaaS, like I know what it's going to be like more than likely. So appreciate that.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one final question is to help others out there. They might be like you. They might be 200 apps in, trying to get into tech
Oh,
sales, no interviews even. What's something you learned specific in Sword that if they knew about and implemented that it might actually
good
help them?
question. Let me think. Best thing, I would say one of the coolest skills I learned was, I guess, multi-threading by reaching out to people. So if you were applying for an SDR job, obviously try to get a hold of the hiring manager. But sometimes there's so many people in the company, you don't even know who the right hiring manager is. And so one thing Jack taught me was, connecting with the Rs or BDRs on the team and just asking them I'm trying to reach out to, Jack. I just want to make sure, is he the right hiring manager? Just making sure you reach out to the right person. It's even the same thing in the job. Like you could be reaching out to CHROs and getting a hold of, the talent acquisition person instead. But I was able to build this community of all these SDRs, and I'm sure that made the hiring manager accept my LinkedIn request once we were all friends because they saw we had mutual connections. And seriously, it helped me a lot because I can ask the SDRs, like about the job, how the company is, all these things up front, kind of just get all the initial fear I had out of the equation before, really applying and going through the interview process.
It's such a good nugget because in sales, the easiest way to win is to have internal champions where people like at the
Right.
place you're trying to sell are rooting for you. And so to your point, like you reach out to an SDR, yo, I'm outbounding XYZ manager. Is that the right person? They're going to reply and they'll point you in the right direction. Like, hey, no, it's
Yeah.
actually this other manager. Cool. Now you just saved all that time of cold calls, emails, research. It's going in the right direction. And now to your point, Brendan, the ice has been broken with this person. They just helped you, so they're probably gonna help you again, and so now you've got this relationship you can start to build, and even an internal champion where, they're giving you insights like, "Yo, when I interviewed, they asked me this
Oh,
question. Look out for that," or whatever,
that
so
was the
I think
biggest
that's
thing.
such
They prepped me for the
it's
questions
it's awesome.
from like the very beginning. I asked, what are they going to ask me? Like number one question, and they always gave it to me. So that's the scary part about interviewing, right? Like not being prepared for some of the questions,
Yeah.
especially in sales. You have to have an answer for everything pretty much and be quick on your feet. So if you can prepare in advance, much better chance of moving through the process.
Well, dude, I know where you're going, and it's an incredible place with incredible leaders, with incredible teammates. So I just want to say
Thanks, Jeff.
congratulations. I'm so proud of you for putting in the work. 31 grades, 90K, fully remote.
Thank
You
you.
did it,
Couldn't do
bro.
it without you.
Congratulations.
Seriously, thank you so much.
One team, one dream, man. Thank you.